Welcome to this session on identifying operational gaps in SMEs. Here we're going to show you how to move the SMEs business from chaos to structured efficiency. My name is Chinyere Otuonye. I am a national business development support provider licensed by SMEDAN, that's the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, as well as a certified digitalization consultant by GIZ. I'll be your facilitator for this session. The objectives of this session is to help you understand what operations means in an SME, to help you identify common operational inefficiencies, to detect root causes of workflow breakdown, help you use simple tools to analyze operations, and to recommend structured operational improvements. So, what are operations? When we say operations, what comes to mind? Operations are the daily activities that allow a business to deliver its product or service. So it includes production or service delivery, inventory management, procurement, workflow systems, quality control, time management, and staff coordination. It's important to note that if finance is the heart of the business, operations is the engine. A business can have strong finances but still fail if its operational engine is broken. With this, we now want to understand what is an operational gap. An operational gap is the difference between how the business currently operates and how it should operate to be efficient and scalable. So examples that we know includes no inventory tracking, the owner is doing everything, frequent stockouts, poor customer service consistency, and delayed service delivery. The 6 core operational areas that you will need to assess as a BDSP includes 6 pillars. Pillar 1 is the workflow and process. When you are assessing this, ask your SME client, is there a defined process from customer order to delivery? Are steps documented? Does the owner rely on memory or refer to documents? So red flags you look out for is when there is no standard process, the work done is different every time, and when there is delay or confusion. The second pillar is role clarity. Ask your SME client, are staff roles clearly defined? Who is responsible for what? And is there accountability? Red flags look out for inks where everyone does everything, or the owner micromanages everything, or when there is a confusion among the staff. The third pillar is the inventory and resource management. Ask your SME client, how do you track stock? How often do you run out of materials? Is there any wastage or spoilage? Red flags to look out for includes no stock records, over purchasing of items or inventory, and when there is a frequent emergency buying at higher prices. The fourth pillar is quality control. Ask your SME client, how do you ensure consistent quality? Do customers complain, or is there a review system? Red flags to look out for includes no quality checks or frequent rework or customer dissatisfaction. The fifth pillar is the time management and efficiency. Ask your SME client, how long does it take to fulfill an order? Are deadlines missed? Does the owner feel overwhelmed? Red flags include chronic delays, poor planning, and owner burnout. Then the sixth pillar is the dependency risk. Ask your SME client, can the business function without the owner? Are key suppliers diversified? Red flags to look out for includes owner is bottleneck or a single supplier dependency. Now remember, each area has specific diagnostic questions and red flags that reveal where the operational engine is breaking down. This is the core of how you assess and then identify the gaps from which you can make informed diagnostic and advisory guide. So, how do you now conduct an operational assessment? Don't always rely on everything your SME client shares. Sometimes they may be subtle with the gaps in their business. So, first, learn to observe. Do not rely on only interviews. Observe the workflow, the workspace layout, staff interactions, equipment condition, and customer flow. Observation often reveals more than answers. Then, step two, map the process that you have seen. Have your SME clients draw simple process flow. So, for example, we can look at the customer inquiry. What happens next is order placement. The next thing is production. Then the next step is payment, followed by delivery of the order and then follow up. This is a process. During this mapping, ask your SME client, where does delay happen? Where does confusion happen? Where does waste occur? Then you move on to step three, which is you use the inefficiency test. So ask, where is time wasted? Where is money leaking? Where is quality inconsistent? And where is confusion frequent? Then you move on to step four. Here you apply the 5 why technique. So let's look at a problem where orders are delayed. Why, you ask, is production slow? Why are materials not ready? Why is the inventory not tracked? Why is there no stock monitoring system? This helps you understand the root cause of why orders are delayed. uh, and from this, you can draw that, oh, there is a poor inventory management. Common operational gaps in SMEs. There are typical patterns that occur in SMEs because they see themselves as small businesses that shouldn't be accountable to themselves or to others. They feel they are in charge of everything, they wear all the hats. However, the operational gaps causes problems within their operations and the customer satisfaction. So, common gaps identified includes the no documented workflow or job description, manual processes where automation is possible, the overdependence on the owner of the business, then there is poor space organization, when there is no supplier comparison, and when there is no performance tracking for staff or processes. So I encourage you to implement this practical exercise. From the scenario given, we have a small restaurant that complains about low profit. Customers complain about delays. The ingredients frequently run out. There is staff conflict and the owner works 14 hours daily. So, what gaps do you identify? If you are to identify operational gaps, you then identify root causes and recommend 3 priority improvements. When you're able to do this, it will align with the gaps identified on this slide, which includes no inventory tracking, no staff role clarity, and no workflow system. Hence, the intervention will include introducing a stock sheet, defining staff roles, and standardizing food preparation process. It will be great to see your own analysis in the group. So let's see how we can turn gaps into interventions by moving from diagnosis to structured system. So we look at the example of gaps identified. So when there is no defined process, the intervention should toe the line of creating a simple standard operating procedure. If the gap identified is owner overload, then the intervention should include delegating defined roles to staff. If the gap identified includes frequent stockouts, the intervention should toe the line of a weekly inventory check schedule. So common BDSP mistakes in operational assessment is when you're focusing only on financial data and you're ignoring staff input, when you're offering complex solutions to simple problems, or you're suggesting an expensive system unnecessarily. Remember, your SME client is just managing to run the business. Many may not be able to afford systems that you are proposing. And then when you fail to prioritize top 3 gaps. So for your assignment, conduct an operational assessment for your assigned SME and submit a process map. So here you map one core business process from start to finish. Identify 3 operational gaps. So here you would look at the gaps you identified, then the root causes and 3 corrective actions, which you clearly document. Then, in your corrective actions, make it practical. Prioritize recommendations for improvement. And you submit also alongside that a 1-page analysis, which will be a concise written operational analysis submitted for my review. I want to emphasize that revenue grows when operations are efficient. An inefficient system will destroy even a profitable business. So, as a BDSP, you do not just improve income, you improve the engine that produces the income. So, with this, we come to the end of today's session. My name remains Chinyere Tuonye. You can follow me on LinkedIn, visit our website at sparksventureshub.com, like this video and share it. Thank you for watching.